Offroad Legends 2 doesn't have the bite of a real Trials game. Its levels are short and snappy, its explosions overblown and often funny, but it doesn't click in the way that it should. And its frustrating obstacles are just a little too frustrating. They sneak up on you, forcing you to fail through surprise rather than because you got the angle of approach slightly wrong. It's a shame because there's a lot to like here. The game is pretty and mixes things up often enough that you're rarely in the same vehicle from level to level. Like its predecessor, the game is a physics platformer with big trucks. You need to get from A to B, navigating a series of obstacles in as quick a time as possible. You've got an accelerator, a brake, and 2 buttons that control the tilt of whichever car you're controlling. You use these to perfect your landings and to gain any traction on slippery slopes. One thing Offroad Legends 2 does do differently from its bike-based inspiration is damage. Make too many awkward landings or spend too much time spinning around on your roof and you'll explode. There are no checkpoints here though. A failure sends you right back to the start of the level. They're only a minute or so long, but if you fall at that last hurdle, it's a bit of a slog to go through the whole thing again. The levels aren't all about speed though. Some task you with performing a giant leap and stopping at the right place. Others give you some precious cargo and a bumpy road to navigate. There are even Angry Bird style smashy bashy levels where you have to cripple some structures. It keeps things fresh, but it means you never really get a handle on the different vehicles you're driving. And that means there's less of a connection between you and the road, which you don't really want. The zany humour feels a little forced as well. Sure, there are explosions and crashes, but none of them have the same cackle factor that made Trials so special. You will have fun while you're playing it, but it often feels that with just a tweak here and a new idea there, you could be having a lot more. Since there isn't a premium Trials game on iOS though, Offroad Legends 2 is probably your best bet for something along the same lines. But while it's a reasonably solid imitation of that series, it still feels like just an imitation. This has been James with appspy.com. We review, you decide.